honestly kind of weird. Drawing took longer for me to get than animation did. But like, I started learning animation, I want to say like maybe a week or two before I got into pixeling. But like, before I debut, like a week or two before, I started learning it like super recently before debut. It was kind of crazy. I felt like I picked it up fairly fast. I mean, not that I can like do anything super complex or anything. Even now, everything I make animation-wise, it's pretty simple. But I can pick up the simple stuff pretty fast. And I've been learning new techniques to like streamline it. So now I can work a little bit faster, you know? I was really impressed when you started pumping those out and said how new you were to it. Yeah, it kind of just like clicked, I guess. I don't know. It's been even nicer now that I've like learned Clip Studio Paint. I've had like so many different animation softwares. My first animated skits I did on the channel were done in Adobe Animate. And then I think some of them were done in Blender. I started with Adobe Animate, but I think I did some in Blender after that. I tried Krita, didn't like it. I think I went from Adobe Animate to Krita, didn't like the animation features in Krita. And then went to Blender, and Blender's like pretty good, but like it's Blender, you know, it can be hard to know what you're doing or what you want to do sometime. And then after that, I did download a software called Moho Studio, but I actually have never used it. I don't know, I got it for free. And then after that, I got Clip Studio Paint, and Clip Studio Paint's been my favorite. Yeah, so I'm pretty committed to Clip Studio Paint now. But I would also not be opposed to revisiting stuff in Blender. Cause like you can do 2D and 3D, like a mix. You could do mixed hybrid animations in Blender. And for as cool as Clip Studio Paint is, I can't say it can really do that. But Clip Studio Paint is also more like fleshed out on the 2D animation side. Blender's not really fleshed out with its grease pencil features. So like, it's definitely a 3D modeling software first, and then just has some 2D animating features in it. You know, but I feel like most people don't even know that you can animate 2D with Blender, because like not a lot of people use the grease pencil features, you know? Yeah, what we're using for the YouTube search is curious. Depending on the show, Adobe Animate / Blender. Blender. I remember what I did not like about Krita was that if you have to move around like layers, it loses quality. So like a lot of the time when I animate, I like to copy and paste parts a lot. That's how I do frame by frame. I copy paste, which I know some professional animators will say don't do that, but I'm one person, so I'm gonna do that. But like if you're copy pasting and then moving around, if you only need to move it once, okay, let's say you copy paste that circle and then you move it. The quality loss is gonna be not really noticeable, right? But then let's say you copy pasted that circle and then moved it, now there's more quality loss. And then if you copy pasted that and moved it, well now there's more quality loss. And if you copy paste that and move it, well now it's more quality loss. And by the time you're done with your animation sequence, you can see a really noticeable drop in the quality between the first frame and the last one you copy pasted after several rounds of copy pasting and moving. You know, you could just simply copy paste just the original circle that you drew, and only just have a minimal like quality loss on each one, I guess. But like, I think if I remember right, I don't know, I think there were some other things I didn't like too, but that was like the one that really stood out to me. You know, I didn't really like that. I want to be able to copy paste, you know. Clip Studio Paint does use pixels and rasterization and not vectors, right? It has options for both. So you can get pixels, rasterized layers, but you can also use vector layers too. It has both, you know? I think when you set up a new project, it's by default pixel layers, but you can, there's a button for vector layers. It's right next to the pixel layers. It's very, easy to find and simple. But yeah, Clip Studio Paint's pretty flexible, you know? I'm sure there's a lot of stuff it can do that I don't even know about yet. But like, it's been really nice to use. I do recommend it. And if you, well, I don't know, it feels kind of like Yeah, like it's either you pay like a one-time payment, but like it's like a couple $100. Unless you get it on sale. Sometimes it goes on sale. I would recommend getting it on sale then if you can, but it is a one-time payment. Or you can get a subscription, which is like, I guess a lot cheaper. I don't know. I have both because you can only get the one-time payment if you're on your PC. iPad only lets you do a subscription. For some reason, I don't know why. Yeah, I bought the one-time purchase payment for my PC, and then I have a subscription on my iPad. Yeah, because I want to be able to work from my iPad sometimes. I don't always want to be on my PC, you know?